Hello, peeps. Grab your notes / homework spiral. And today's podcast is going to be once again on lesson 2.5. This will be part 3. We're going to talk about some vocabulary words today: terms, coefficients, and constants. Please write those vocabulary words in your notes / homework spiral. Lesson 2.5. While you're doing that, I will throw out a friendly reminder that you do not have homework tonight. But don't worry, I'll get even with you tomorrow night. Alrighty guys, if you would, please take a moment to write down the expression, nice vocabulary word, da bears. Please write down the expression negative x plus 2x plus 8 in your spiral. Notice that this is not an equation because there is no, very good boys and girls, there is no equal sign. This is an expression. Alright, first vocabulary word I would like you to write down for today. Terms. Please write down the vocabulary word terms. And this is what we mean by terms in math. If I were to put a box around the negative x, and if I put a box around the positive 2x, and I put a box around the positive 8, those are all what we call terms in math. These are terms. The next vocabulary word I would like you to write down, if you would, please write the vocabulary word coefficient. Coefficient. And no, I'm not spelling it for you. Look at the screen. Coefficient refers to the number that touches a variable. A number that touches a variable. So, for example, we have our dog x and we have our dog negative x. Whoops. Rough. That's what I meant to do. It must be getting late. It's time to get this podcast done with. Our dogs, or our variables, are negative x and x. In math, we would say in this expression, the coefficients are a negative 1. Why? Very good, boys and girls, because you should know by now that there is an imaginary 1, which is really a negative 1 in front of this variable. And the number touching the dog here, rough, x is 2. That is also a coefficient. So coefficient is simply the numbers that touch a variable or touch a dog. Now, Mr. Phillips, you didn't say anything about this 8. Correct. I did not say anything about that 8 or that positive 8 because that positive 8 is constantly alone. It's not touching a variable. So since it's not touching a letter, it can't be a coefficient. We say any numbers that are by themselves are a constant. Think of it this way. 8 is all by itself. It's stuck out here on this island. It is constantly alone. That is called a constant in math. A number that is by itself. Alright, like terms, please write down the vocabulary word like terms. Easy pleasy. That is the letter X. This is the letter X. This is a number all by itself or a constant. So like terms in this case would be negative x and positive 2x. BRB. One more example. Please write down the expression 3x minus 4 minus 6x plus 2. Notice again, this is an expression. Why? Excellent job, boys and girls. There is no equal sign, so it is not an equation. Alrighty, on your paper, please write terms, coefficients, like terms, and constant. On your paper, please write down terms, coefficients, like terms, and constant. Or you can call it constant terms. Let's see if you can identify the correct vocabulary words. Make sure you've left yourself some space for terms. You should be able to say to me, Mr. Phillips, 3x, negative 4, negative 6x. There we go. And positive 2 are all terms. So think of it this way. It's all the individual pieces. So please write next to terms 3x, negative 4, negative 6x, and 2. Coefficients. We said on the last slide, coefficients are the numbers that touch a variable. So we have 3 touching our variable or dog x, and we have negative 6 touching our dog or variable x. So let's get our dog sound in there. OMG. Need some coffee when I get up in the morning, so I'll make this same mistake twice. JK. Coefficients are the numbers touching the variables. So 3 and negative 6 are touching the variables. 3 and negative 6 are my coefficients. Good job so far. Like terms, like terms. Easy pleasy. We love our dogs or our variables. Negative 4 and positive 2 do not have variables or letters. So like terms, you should have written down 3x and negative 6x, negative 4 and 2. And last but not least, we want to identify our constant. What numbers up here are constantly alone? Negative 4 is constantly alone. He can never find a dog or a variable to hang out with. Positive 2, or just 2, it is the same thing because positive is in disguise. Transformers, robots in disguise. Alright, you are really weird. Negative 4 and positive 2 are our constants. Why? Because negative 4 is constantly alone, and 2 or positive 2 is constantly alone. They can never find a variable to shack up with. Alright guys, thanks for watching. As always, see ya. Wouldn't wanna be ya.